WWE 2K26 rumors and potential leaks are dropping like crazy from insiders and big creators, giving us hints on the potential return of a fan favorite mode, also the possible end of universe mode, huge roster additions and DLC news, along with a potential change in the cover star and showcase candidate. Let's go ahead and talk about it. Will a fan favorite mode make its return for 2K26? That's what a lot of people are thinking with recent rumors, as a few years ago 2K asked the community what game modes and things they want to see make a return to the game, and there were two clear-cut answers at the top. Number one being My Gem, which we've already seen return for 2K22 and so on, but number two was Story Designer, and that's the rumored game mode that people think will return this year. It would be a huge addition to 2K26, as right now, for users that just want to play out stories, all you have is My Rise, and it seems like it's getting, quicker and quicker, less content in My Rise every single year. So right now, it makes a whole lot of sense for them to bring back Story Creator, allow us to either create our own stories or go to community creations and download other people's stories, get to play them out, to have endless content, and really fill that void that seems to be in there for 2K26 players that just want to play stories and play the game outside of just regular exhibition matches or online matches. The biggest question is, if they do bring back Story Designer, how is it going to work? How are they going to implement all of the assets they already have? Because there's two really big questions. One is promos. Right now, if you're going to insert the same promo cutscenes that we have from Universe Mode into the Story Designer, will it have text finally? Because they brought it back for 2K25, but with no text. I feel like that change has to happen. Because if they don't implement text for promos, I feel like Story Designer would take a big hit. Also, number two is, the big reason Story Designer got taken out the first time was content moderation, because people were using that promo text to say some crazy stuff that they don't want to have people download, especially kids, for, a product that's PG, PG-13, that kind of thing. So the question is, will we be able to download other people's stories? Because once again, if that's not implemented in the Story Designer, it's pretty useless, because it would just be another mode to book things, just like Universe Mode is right now. So there needs to be that difference between the two modes. Universe Mode should be the booking simulator that it currently is, and then Story Designer needs to be just playing out stories. Let us have that segment and that mode be its purpose. Is text and promos and being able to download other people's stories a deal breaker for you? Let me know down in the comments below. All the talk of bringing back Story Designer for 2K26 has left a lot of Universe Mode fans thinking, is this going to be the end of Universe Mode? Are they finally going to make the call to put Universe Mode and MyGM together in one mode, where they bring out the best aspects of each mode and just put them together? It would honestly make a whole lot of sense to me if you brought back Story Designer, because the way 2K always operates for their modes is they want every mode to be unique and have its own unique aspects. So if Universe Mode and Story Designer are both really built off of the same rivalry actions and cutscenes, it would go against every idea they've already used for building out modes. So it would all make a whole lot of sense, because you can have this new Universe Mode and MyGM combo be the focus of, building out every little detail and competing against, another user or AI, versus Story Creator just being focused on letting users play out stories. That way, it would hit the aspects of having each mode be unique, even though there's no certain similarities in the cutscenes, but each mode would have a different identity and purpose to really fit what 2K wants to do. So for Universe Mode fans, this is definitely not going to be the end of the mode entirely, but I think it is leading down an alley to combine Universe Mode and MyGM for the future. Let me know if you agree down in the comments below. Another big rumor hitting for 2K26 is going to be a potential new match type. If we think back to last year, we got the Underground match, and we think back to every single year, we get pretty much at least one new big match type every single year. One we did not get last year is Iron Survivor, even though it was rumored for a long time. It makes a lot of sense that they would add it this year, as it's a reoccurring match type that we see every single year. And also, it makes sense they couldn't quickly put it out last year, because there are some things that they might have issues with developing, which is that penalty 90-second penalty box thing. So if they took a couple of years to put it in this year, it would make a whole lot of sense. Other rumored match types could be something like an I Quit match. Also, potentially, we could see maybe not even a new match type added, that maybe fixes the current match types. Hell in a Cell and Steel Cage matches have gotten a lot of flack recently. They honestly haven't been as fun as they used to be. So what if this year 2K decides, for 2K26, we're not going to add a new match type, but we're going to revamp these match types, make them better and more fun? That'd make a whole lot of sense. Let me know what you guys think about that down in the comments below. And now confirmed, what was previously a rumor is that AAA, to at least some degree, will be in 2K26. Adrian Butler, a WWE ref but also involved in AAA, released an image on Twitter of the AAA refs with a 2K26 logo. So we can confirm that AAA to some degree will be in 2K26. Will it be a bunch of superstars as a roster? Will it be some in a DLC? We've seen Mr. Iguana and Vikingo on WWE TV a few times in the recent months, so it makes sense if those two were in 2K26. We've also seen a bunch of AAA superstars besides those two in WWE Supercard, so we could potentially see them in 2K26 as well. Hopefully main roster for the base game, but they might just end up being DLC. We'll probably find that out pretty soon. But also, that leaves the question, what about TNA and that partnership? Can we see people like the Hardy Boys, Mike Santana? Can we see them in the game as well? We've not had any confirmation there yet, but there has been a rumor that it will be DLC. Will that come out to be true? We don't know yet. We'll definitely find out in the coming months leading up to 2K26. Are you guys more interested in the AAA content or potential TNA content? Let me know down in the comments below. Who is going to be the cover star and showcase candidate for 2K26? The long-standing rumor has been CM Punk, and a lot of people want it. But also, CM Punk was the rumor for a long time last year as well. Then at the last second, it got announced that it was going to be a Bloodline showcase and cover. So the question is, will we see Punk actually get it this year, or will it be another last second change? A lot of people are calling for a John Cena cover and showcase. It would make sense in some ways, but not so in others. Unfortunately, we've already seen him in 2K23 and got that showcase, but that showcase involved all the big matches that he ended up losing. So it would make sense for a last time is now a cover and showcase, but this time it be the big matches that he won. Unfortunately, you couldn't get the matches with the Edge, but you can get matches with The Rock, you can get matches with CM Punk, Randy Orton, Batista, Shawn Michaels, the list goes on. You had a lot of big wins against those stars, so it would make a lot of sense to have that as a last time is now edition. But what if he doesn't get it? What if Triple H screws him one final time with a big smile on his face? It would make a whole lot of sense as well for Triple H. Right now, he's trying to be pushed as the guy. He's trying to force himself into that Dana White role for WWE. So it would make a whole lot of sense to have him push for his own showcase. And I honestly wouldn't hate it. It's not my first choice, but it gives us a lot of DX content. We've already had some DX members, involved in having being part of the roster in recent years. But having a full DX really showcase and Triple H showcase, it could be great. You could have Triple H versus Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H versus The Rock, all the DX stuff. It would make for a really fun showcase. So it would also make a lot of sense. But also, what if it's neither of them? What if it's an Undertaker showcase? We've already had Undertaker be involved with the showcase in the past. We've seen his WrestleMania stuff. We had to beat the streak. But what if we did something different for him this year? It would make a whole lot of sense. They could use it to help, push his podcast, that kind of thing with WWE. So it can make a lot of sense to try and involve Undertaker in a showcase and be a cover star. But at the same time, it also might not make a whole lot of sense because each year there's 3 versions of 2K. And the middle version, the $100 version, was the Dead Man Edition. So I don't know if they're going to try and have another Undertaker cover star following that. That's also a name that a lot of people have been asking for and people have been wanting to see. So it could also make a whole lot of sense there. But right now, it does feel like CM Punk will get the cover and the showcase. And honestly, I want to see a showcase with him. We get his John Cena Money in the Bank match again, which we've already did see in the past in a showcase. But also, if you have TNA stars included like the Hardys, you can get the CM Punk versus Jeff Hardy feud in your showcase. You can get Rey Mysterio, potentially Chris Jericho, hopefully. And also, if you have a TNA, crossover, you can get maybe Dolph Ziggler in there. You have Mark Henry. So CM Punk has a lot of big wins that would make sense for his showcase. So personally, I would love to see the rumors be true this time and not him getting screwed over just like last year. And to wrap this one up, I want to talk about my predictions about everything I've talked about so far. So, in my opinion, will Story Designer return this year? My answer is no. I'm going to say no. I'm going to assume the insiders are pushing it a little too far. The big content creators are pushing forward a little too far. I do think it's absolutely going to return in the near future because I talked about how I think it's going to involve all the Universe Mode cutscenes. The issue is it's still too far away to bring it back. We still need cutscenes for Triple Threat, Fatal 4-Ways, and Factions. That's going to take at least a year to do. Then also, we need backstage segments that we used to have, backstage promos. So that's going to be a whole another year. It's going to be 2 years. And then there's probably a whole bunch of other just random cutscenes you'd want to be able to make it more fun and not make it limited that we used to have back in WWE 13. what comes to mind is that backstage segment of the car running over someone. You need a bunch of random cutscenes like that to make it a whole lot more fun and chaotic of a mode. So I think that's a whole other third year. So in reality, I think best case scenario, we get it in a couple of years, but I'm thinking more like 3 years, unfortunately. And I hate to say that because I love the mode. Then universe mode, is it being thrown out? Is it going to be finished in the garbage or combined with my GM? Universe mode's definitely never going to go away. It's very similar to the old my GM, and I think having that, you know, build out your own calendar, play out years and years is always going to be there, especially that's a big focus of 2K games with NBA 2K. You know, they have my GM. So I think it's always going to be there, that yearly calendar playthrough cycle of every single year. So I think eventually it will get to universe mode and my GM combining, but right now it just doesn't seem to make sense until they actually finish out Story Designer. So probably a few years on that before universe mode and my GM kind of start getting combined, in my opinion. Roster additions, I do think the AAA stars will be day one and TNA will be a DLC. It'd make a whole lot of sense with their partnerships and owning AAA. And then lastly, the cover star, I think CM Punk will get it. It makes a lot of sense, and he's my personal first choice for the cover and showcase. Let me know if you agree or disagree down below in the comments with any of my opinions or predictions, and I'll see you guys next time.